Today is the second day that I am planning on finishing up this Hoop Studio really cute project of a blooming basket. So today I am working on the flowers, the felt flowers, the fringe, and the leaves. Doesn't look too bad. It's a 5x7 hoop. It is a wash away stabilizer. I'm going to use this real pretty peaches and cream, and you do need to wind a bit of a bobbin because you want your thread color to match on the front and back of the flower petals, obviously, because you will see them. So it looks like this is pretty easy. It looks like everything is going to get done. Well, actually, I'm going to be stitching 5 petals, 3 leaves, and some of this yellow fringy stuff. So I'm going to be using a water-soluble bobbin, and that yellow fringy stuff is what is created to go inside here. All right, so I am going to get this loaded. I am going to wind the bobbin just a little bit. One of the things is I don't have that many bobbins, actually. I have found it hard to even buy the correct bobbins, but I'm just going to wind it with a bit. I am going to have to, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like there's probably 5 petals per flower, and there's 4 flowers or 3 flowers. Well, let me see how many pieces they give us. They gave 4 pieces of this peach felt, so I guess that's enough for 4 flowers. All right, going over to the machine. I loaded up the flower design, flower leaves, and the fringe. 5x7 hoop is on here. I did wind a bobbin just with a bit of thread. I don't like to do too much of it. So I'm going to return here, get the embroidery. And what is it doing first? So the very first thing that's going to stitch is that little fringe thing. So what it says to do first and foremost is to load the design, and then it says change your bobbin thread to the water soluble. So I'm going to do that right now. Keep my other thread up here. My water soluble is marked with this black dot. That kind of lets me know that it's my water soluble. And I keep this in a bag with the actual, I keep it in this bag in a drawer away from everything else because you don't want to make the mistake of having that in there. So let me put this here. So let me get this. Now it says to change the bobbin thread to the water-soluble thread or a visible thread color that contrasts with the maize thread. Stitch the flower center fringe. So that's going to be the first thing that this is going to be, is this fringe stuff. Okay, the fringe piece finished up, and now I am going to load my peach color and lay my felt in place and get my bobbin that matches, and I will be right back. Okay, it's going to do a placement line for the felt. Okay, place the felt in place there. And these flowers are really pretty. I hope they turn out that pretty. All right, I'm gonna do a tack down. After the tack down, it's gonna stitch the petal fills. Took a bit to stitch that. So I did find, I'm gonna go with this orange. And I did find a bobbin that's already has some orange on it. It's a little darker. I don't care. I'm gonna put that in the bobbin just to kind of try to match it up. It'll be fine. Okay, this is gonna stitch the petal detail. I hope this orange is okay. I kind of auditioned quite a few colors, and yeah, I think this one will be good. Okay, so it's going to stitch the detail on all of these. Change the bobbin to green and the leaf color to green and get the green felt, and this will be the last stitched part here. This is going to stitch the leaves. Okay, that's all done. Going to stitch the placement line. Okay, and I'm gonna get this felt. All I'm gonna say about Kimberbell felt, it is super soft. It is some of the nicest felt. I don't know where they get theirs from, but when you go to buy felt and you feel it's like nasty, they always have very, very nice felt. I like how they kind of did everything in one hoop here. All right, I'm gonna go and start stitching the leaves and the leaf detail. Okay, all of these are stitched and completed. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go just, does it say how much? They usually say like 1/8 of an inch to cut. So it says remove the project, cut apart the stabilizing, trim the excess stabilizer around the fringe flower center, trim around each petal as desired. So it's basically telling you as desired for the cut apart the stabilizer, separating the petals felt in the flower fringe and the leaves felt. Trim the excess stabilizer around the fringe flower center, and then you're going to trim your leaves and your petals as desired, closer, farther apart, however you want to do it. And that I am going to do off camera. Pretty self-explanatory. You're just going to go in and cut. This is the stabilizer, so the stabilizer does need to be, I'm going to get a little bowl of water. What I am going to say is do not run this over your sink. I have watched some previous videos where people are like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It is a big deal, because I clogged up my sink making, I I think they were the bats I was making on Halloween, and the stuff did grow like, what do they call it? Like putty. And I was like, what is wrong with me? And I was rinsing it over my bathroom sink. So get yourself a little bowl and kind of like just do it that way. Put them on some paper towels. It's going to take a bit to dry, so I'm not going to be able to do anything with this till later tonight, which isn't going to happen. So probably tomorrow I will construct the flowers. I am going over getting these pieces sewn together, and I'm going to give a bit of advice here because when I did my tick marks, so the tick marks came in, they were very small. Like, it's not like it was a half inch or something. It was very tiny. So those tick marks become very important when you're putting your front. So this is the front bottom, and I'm stitching. I have to stitch the bottom. So this was the batting part. This is the stabilizer, the form stuff, and I was able to see my tick mark, and kinda in the middle where I have the pins. This one I could not see at all. It does tell you to clip along these, just little tiny clip marks, and then it's gonna get sewn. So I got to this part. This is where it says with the back piece right side down. So you have your back piece right side down, and then you have the so you have the front of you have the right side up on the front, and then wrong side up on the back. I've got mine all pinned in place, and it says to match up your tick marks. Ease the remaining fabric into place, pin as needed, hold the curve in place and align the raw edges. Sew along the curve from the tick mark to the side tick mark. Do not stitch past these tick marks. This is where I'm going to run into issues because I cannot see the tick marks. So I really wish that they would have done the tick marks better. I used the same fabric. The same thread. So the thread color was the same as this. But even when I was looking, there was only one tick mark I was able to see because the tick marks were sewn very, very small. So, so what I'm going by is you don't want to sew past this bendable. My end here is right with that. So that I'm counting that as my tick mark. So this one right here, I think I'm going to have to move in just a tad. My recommendation, make sure that when you're stitching the tick marks that first of all, you use a really, really good contrasting thread. Make something dark. I am going to stitch this 1/4 inch and get that into place. Okay, and I will show that. Yeah, I just see how it's going to look. So after you get the basket stitched and then you pull it right side out, then you're just going to take your lining pieces like you normally would. Okay, I am at the machine and I am going to attempt to stitch this, even though make sure that both of the these are out of the way, your lining. I don't really want to use this foot. Maybe this one. This is a 1/4 inch, but I don't want to use the 1/4 inch foot. All right, so I'm not real confident with this because I'm just gonna line it up with my 1/4 inch. I'm gonna stitch a little more in also, just because I just don't know. I don't I can't find my tick marks. And it says it's very important to follow the tick marks, and I don't know where they are. So I did clip the bottom of this, which helps with this curved piecing. I'm going to take my time. I didn't, if you noticed, I didn't tack back and I didn't reinforce the beginning, because if I have to take it off, then I don't, I'll have less to fight with. if my thing is off here. I'm going to stop right there. I'll just do that. All right, so let's see. Now, if something is sewn very, oh, yeah, well, that didn't work. So maybe you need to go, I really totally missed this whole section here. So I'm going to have to, you can see right here, I missed that section. So let me get this lined up again. Okay, this time I tried all pins instead of the clips. And it's definitely not easy to pin this. I'm just going to clip this one right here. I think one of the reasons why I had so much shifting. And I'm also going to try to stitch this, pressing this down this time with the hopes that it, I did it the other way. Okay, so we're going to try this again. And this time, and I'm stitching on this line, this previous line, the stitching line, because I'm kind of thinking that's a good indicator to stitch on. Make sure I get everything. The only thing is with using the pins, I kind of feel like, ow, I just stamped myself with one of them. I feel like I'm getting some bunching here. Try to, there's just a little bit there. Okay. I mean, this was literally bending my pins because there's, two stabilizer, or there's batting, but there's the stabilizer on the other part here. Oh, don't stitch past, I don't know. This might take a couple tries, and I'm okay with that. This one looks much better. I caught everything, and it definitely looks better. It definitely looks better. I have to reinforce this very starting part because it is not sitting right, because I didn't want to reinforce it in case I was way off. I still feel like I'm still a little off, but let me see. After that is sewn, then I'm gonna be coming up this side and sewing this side, and that seems to be matching up well. And then I'm going to be doing the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna go in and fix this little divot here because that's gonna bother me. I think what I am going to do is I'm gonna go across this again, and then I'm gonna do exactly what it shows. It looks like the sides line up really nice. So I have my sides together, and then the lining all the way to this point, because this is longer. The lining part is just straight like the front of the bag. Okay, so it's very it's kind of difficult to determine where they want you to start sewing. To me, it seems like they want you to start sewing on the fabric, on the lining part, and just work your way down on each side, and then you'll be turning the bag through here. So my thing is if you do embroidery, great, but if you don't do a lot of sewing, this is a little challenge I have. This is definitely not a tutorial. I'm not telling you how to sew this. This is me sewing this and videoing it, and I always I never just make things look like it's perfect. This is definitely a struggle. I've been sewing for many, many years, sewing and quilting, and I have a lot of sewing experience. It's never fun to first of all, to sew a curve. Never easy to do. And this one proved the same, you know, definitely not easy to do. So I'm going to start from the lining. I'm just going to show this part stitched, and I'm going to know pretty fast when I'm lining it up my quarter. So I'm going to know pretty fast once I turn this in side out. I'm not going to do any type of reinforcing my seams. Yeah, like it's definitely, it's a bit more. See, I don't know that I would be sewing it from there. I feel like I would sew it here and then there down, and that's what I'm gonna do. I feel like by the time I get to here, I'm gonna be so bunched up, it's not gonna be funny. So what I'm going to do is I am gonna stitch from here. I'm gonna stitch this thicker stuff first. That just makes more sense to me. And then I will stitch my lining from this point out. Otherwise, in my opinion, you've got the leather handle inside there, trying not to, you know, catch that in anything. Yeah, you could just see how this is getting pushed because of the leather handle. Got that handle out of the way, but it's still, I'll start it on here. And then I'm going to just stitch. I just think this, for me, makes more sense. I'm starting from the middle. I'm going to stitch down, and then I will turn it around and stitch the other side. It did say somewhere that you were supposed to clip something from that last section, and I can't figure out what it is I would be clipping. So okay, got that stitched, and then this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn this actually the other way, and I'm gonna stitch down, because this, to me, it just makes more sense, because I just feel like otherwise I would be, oh yeah, this just makes a lot more sense to me. I feel like if you try to stitch from, if you're trying to stitch from the lining part and then all the way down, so what I did was I started in the middle, stitched down, started in the middle, stitch down, and this way then I didn't run into any kind of bunching. If something's going to be uneven, it's going to be here, which is the inside lining, and I don't mind that so much. All right, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side out, and we'll see what we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so I stitched down the sides. Like I said, I started here, and then I went down this way, and I did the same on the other side, and that to me was much easier to sew. So now I am going to turn this inside out. Okay, turned it inside out. Not bad. A string up here. That's not too great. Again, not crazy about the fabric. Now I sit here and I look at how this fabric looks. I would have lined it with SF101. It doesn't say to do that anywhere in this project. However, I just feel like it's not gonna look as good. It's not laying as nice. That's gonna have to all be really nicely pressed. Normally you would do a top stitch around here. And then the biggest problem I had was just this. You could see you know, I'm gonna be okay with it. I've got like this part right in the front here, but you know what? I've kind of sewed it twice already, and that's where some stitching is coming from. So I don't want to keep taking stitches out. So, I mean, it's, you know, it looks like it's supposed to look. It looks like it's supposed to look. I mean, now this all has to be really nicely pressed. I just want to see, and then this is the thing that is going to go in the bottom and kind of sit in here to kind of help that bottom part there. It's going to sit down there. So let's see what it says about that. Align the raw edges of the curved lining and sew them together. Okay, you see how this picture looks right here. That's exactly what mine looks like, because the one part was long and curved, the other one was shorter. The next one says align the raw edges of the curved lining with the front lining wrong sides together. Smooth the inside, and then you put, okay, so there, because I was going to say, wait a minute, that's going to be on the outside, but so they want the same thing done here. I'm going to take it, I'm going to iron so that I have my points the same, and I will try to work that in there and stitch that. It doesn't matter if this looks clean or not. It's just going to be tucked in the bottom, and then you're going to have this. I commend them for taking the time to design this, because this is going to be the big, you know, the big difference there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this back out. I like the way the sides look. The sides all looked really good. The back looks good. The bottom looks good. This, you know, sewing this part here is definitely a bit wonky. But you can see everything is closed up. Everything looks nice there. I'm happy with how that came out. But I'm going to reinforce it. And then I'm going to get my middle, and I'm going to starch this fabric a little bit. I'm going to take it together like this. I'm going to fold it. I'm going to take it to the iron so that this way I can see my middle point on both of them. I'm going to do my best to stitch it. It is very nice, but my recommendations, if you're a new sewer, this is going to be a difficult project to sew. Not a difficult project to embroider. You know, even a confident beginner might have a problem stitching this. You know, and then stitching a curved, super thin piece. I think that this would have looked a lot nicer if SF-101 was put on there. I really feel like that would have made a big difference. So, but it would have also added a little more bulk. You know, this one matched up perfectly. So, little off there. Okay, as shown, I put I did an iron mark for the middle, put my one pin in the middle, and then I worked from the middle to the left and then the middle to the right, and I was able to get that straight part fed into this curved part. This is going to be in the inside and bottom of the basket. You're not going to see it. So I like to sew it with the curve down. That just makes more sense to me. And I'm sure that the way that they probably say to do it. So I'm just going to stitch this closed. And you want to like sew up to if you haven't sewn a curve before, sew up to those pins. Do not take those pins out before you have to, because remember, you have a straight piece of fabric pinned to a curved piece of fabric, and you want to kind of keep that Now you may get a little bit of, you know, shifting of the fabric, and maybe it's not going to be perfect when it's all said and done. Again, with this project, not going to really matter because this is going to be at the bottom of the bag. My hands look terrible because they are dry. All right, maybe took that pin out a little early. And you just take your time. It says that when you're done stitching this, and it looks like I might have a little bit of wonkiness at this end, and again, that is totally fine. Looks like I'm just gonna have a little bead here at the end. I probably started moving here, but I'm just gonna tuck that in a bit. It's going to be clipped anyway, so and there you go. That was you know, not perfect. Looks like I was shifting a bit, but that's caught on there. That's caught on there fine. You see how this got shifted a bit? I'm not worried about that. And then I'm just going to put this at the bottom. It says to clip. I am gonna say for this fabric, it says to clip it, clip the fabric. I'm not gonna do that because this fabric is, it says do the notches at the top. I'm not quite sure why. I would have probably done that before I tried to sew straight and a curve together because that's usually what you have to do. I'm not gonna do that because this is a very shreddy fabric. I'm going to take this to the ironing board and I'm just going to nicely press all around here. And if I need to, I have a little iron that's just going to sit down there. I have a smaller iron to kind of get a little in here. And then I'm just going to put the insert, and this part is done. Overall, I'm very proud of this. Now it's just getting those flowers done. Overall, I think it came out really nice. I think it looks just like that basket, except for I did that color. So now we're moving on to the flowers. Oh, and I guess I need to get my pieces here. Okay, so I only stitched out enough for one flower. I'm going to be stitching out the other ones tonight to finish them up. Remember, my excuse is I work full-time. So I did prepare, so you get this metal wire. So I did get the metal wire prepared. You put the ball in like the middle, and then you twist it. So that's going to be the start of the flower. And I'm going to go by the steps as they show it here. I often mention that stitching by hand is not a favorite thing of mine. Don't like it. Well, working with a glue gun is the second part of I don't like. I don't like working with a glue gun. I'm just a mess with it, right? So it did say to kind of like pinch the leaves, and I did do that. I pinched the flower some too. So I let these dry overnight. Look at how cute this, what a cute idea for that. The vanish thread, you put it in your bobbin, and look at how cool that is. So that is going to be like the inner part of the flower. Okay, I'm going to try to make this not too long. So let's see how I make it through this. I have not practiced any of these. Like I said, I only stitched out one of these. I'm going to do the rest of them after I finish this video. All right, so I did, now I did these, I did submerge these. I got a little cup of water. I submerged these in here, threw that water out. We've got all our pieces here. Let's line them up how they show. Got my 5 petals. I've got this thing, my fringe, and I've got my 2 leaves, and this goes at the bottom. So it shows, I already showed that. Now it looks like using a hot glue gun or glue of choice, glue the fringe flower center around the bead as shown. All right, so let me just see. Yeah, I just don't know about this. It looks like they're taking it, when you look at it, this is probably not going to be easy. I guess when I get the glue on there, it might be a little, using a hot glue gun, glue the fringe flower center to the, so let me put a little bit of hot glue on here. Got my hot glue gun all fired up here. All right, and let me start by putting this fringe right there. Let me try, oh, I'm sorry that I'm gonna drop this down some. So I'm going to, oh, looks like I need to put this up a little higher because you wanna cover that thing. So let's get this handy dandy glue gun. Put that up a little bit. Yeah, there's, you know, there's some people that are really, see, I got like a lot of glue that's gonna be, ow, a lot of glue that's gonna be like, ah, man, and that really sticks. I don't think it really matters, but, oops, I'm sorry, I keep taking this out of the thing here. But I want to show this as I'm doing it because I want to see how realistic it is to, like, get this darn thing in place. All right, and now I'm going to put my last little squirt thing of glue there. Probably putting too much. That's my issue. I got little pieces of it everywhere. Ow. Ow. All right, I'm trying to get this, oh, ow. All right, that don't, that don't look that bad. Ugh, there's like strings hanging. That can always be cleaned up, right? I don't know what that is. I got a string hanging off of my hand. Let me get my little clips here. I'll use these Kimberbell ones that I'm not crazy about. Okay, so, okay, overall that doesn't look bad. Doesn't look bad. Looks pretty similar to what they show. All right, not too upset about that. You know, kind of got a little bit of extra glue in this one section, but there we go. All right, so then it says glue the petals around the base of the bead as desired. So I'm going to say you're going to put a little bit of, this is just really, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little at the bottom of that. Yeah, see, I just feel like I got a big long thing of, all right, now let's put that, I'll put the first one up here. I have a feeling my flowers are not gonna look very good. I'm not confident. I'm just not confident. All right, that's sticking. So I'm gonna take the next one. Let me put this down. This is nice because, again, like I said, what I like about these is that it does take you out of your comfort zone. And it does, like, I wouldn't normally, like, choose to make stuff like this. I'm like, well, you know, I tend to avoid, oops, sorry. I tend to avoid, you know, projects with a glue gun. Just because you know, and it says you don't have to use a glue gun. But I think that if you want this thing to really stick, that a glue gun is probably a good choice. And it really sticks because this is like a wood ball. It's really sticking on there. I don't feel like I can pull it off if I wanted to. All right, a little bit more glue there. This glue is literally, I got long, thin strings of glue. All right, well, let's see. I'm sorry if I'm not doing this as, you know, I kind of feel like however this is going to come out, it's going to come out, right? I feel like, make sure that you're putting your, how did their flowers look? Well, I guess they look about that. So far, so good, right? I don't know how I'm gonna, I literally got this, I don't know if you could see these strings. They're all over the place. This is why I don't like a glue gun. All right. But I have to say, so far, I'm happy with my flowers so far. So now I'm gonna, this is my dilemma now. So where am I gonna put that additional one? So they, oh, you know what? I probably, can I take one of these off? Probably should have moved. Wow, that really sticks when you, I'm gonna see if I can get this one off because I need to move it over some. And then otherwise, I'm not going to be able to, almost, okay, I did it. I'm going to move it more like how they show there. This glue gun really sticks. I mean, it sticks good. So what you want to do is you want to kind of like lay the 3 out like this. And then that's together a little more. And then I'll put the other 2 on the other side there. Yeah, I definitely have too much glue right there, but that's okay. I mean, what are you going to do, right? I feel like just leave it, right? All right, how's that? Okay, now I'm going to take this other one, put a little bit of glue on there. A little glue, I'm going to tell you for this project, a little glue goes a long way. Because it is really, oh, this one I don't have enough, I don't think. Let me put a little bit more on here. I might have to put a little bit more of a, yeah, I have to reload my glue gun with, that's looking kind of pretty. Let me reload my glue gun. Okay, I reloaded and put that there. I kind of feel like this one is, you know what, it is what it is, right? I'm gonna put, looks a little, looks a little crooked, but, oh, there, I moved it around some. I think you just have to be a little more aware of where you're putting it. Like, I almost feel like I have to take that one off. This one right here is too low. So, uh-oh, I'm gonna, okay. So let me get some more glue on that one. So you can take it off, put it on. I mean, I feel like I'm just like, you kind of really want to scope out where you're going to put these things before you put them in place. I think that's better, and then I'm going to put the last one there. And I'm going to be happy with it. So I have one more petal that I'm going to fill in right there. Put my glue stuff there. And, oh my God, I got little things of glue everywhere. Oh, look at that. And a word of advice, too, is when you're putting these on, move them in place right when you first put them on, because it does not take long for this glue to dry. I think that's cute. I think that came out cute, huh? Oh, God. Yeah, it's cute. That's bothering me. I got little pieces of glue everywhere. That's bothering me a bit, but you know what? I'm just gonna let it go, because how do you like that? I mean, make sure that when you first put it on there, you know what? I'm not a glue gun person, but I know it's the best choice for this project. Now, I'm gonna put this piece, and this piece looks like it wraps around. Was I supposed to cut that or something? How is that supposed to wrap around? Oh, wow, some of these I really have. Some of these are really off. Oh, okay, I see how that works. You see how this, oh, that's really cool. I mean, because I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you what it looks like before this thing, because I was like, what? I didn't do a great, I mean, you know. So check this out. I mean, you know, again, leave it to, you know, Kimberbell, me time to figure this stuff out. Very cute. So how should I apply the glue so that I don't, so I'm going to wrap it that way. I have glue hanging everywhere. All right, so I'm going to put the glue on here. I'm going to put it more like here, here, and here. All right. And put it in place. And get it moved there. Oh, that's cute. That is really cute. Oh, wait. I got to... So I took it here, and I'm just going to put a little more inside here to get these two pieces down. And I'm trying not to do a lot of it because, oh, as I was saying that, I put a lot of, put a lot of it. So I'm going to try not to squeeze that too much. Look at how cute that is. I don't know if you can really see. And, oh yeah, how cute. But look at that, how they thought of doing that piece there. And I'm not gluing this all the way. I kind of feel okay. I glued it very well at the base. I'll hold that for a minute. And then it's just going to be the leaves and I'm going to be done. I think this is a lot of fun. I keep saying it for these projects. I love doing things that are different and determine, okay, would I make this again? Wouldn't I? Would I or would I not make this again? I really think the flower is cute. Now, definitely have to perfect my skills at this. But I love the way they had this finishing part here. You know, when this stitched, I was like, oh, what's that going to be? You know, another thing I thought would be cool is, you know, you have your own felt. Make these multicolor petals. All right, so let me put that down. I have strings of glue all over me. Let's see. Okay. So fold each leaf in half. Put a dot of glue and pinch it to the wire as desired. Trim the wire as desired. All right, so then I'm going to put them about halfway up then. So let's see. Let's scope this out. So you want the inside, right? I don't know now. Fold each one in half. Yeah. I kind of feel like I would rather have the, good part right on the outside. I mean, they both look good, but you could see this is the front. This is the back of it. So it says to fold it in half and then put it like this. Like that. All right, so let me get a little bit of glue on this. And actually holding on to this thing can kind of be cause you some issues trying to hold this thing. How cute is that? How cute is that? Maybe I should have done it the other way, but all right, that's one leaf, and that's kind of how they show you to do it, like that. And then I'm going to put the other one a little further down, because you can go like this, and so I guess, oh, look at that. Look at that. All right. Again, I'm putting the glue on the inside of it. So the other one I'm going to put like right there. Yeah, like right there, because I'm probably going to cut this. They did theirs a little further down. Okay, so I'm just going to put glue inside here, and this is going to be it. I enjoyed this project. I really did. My honest opinion, my honest review of it. If you're looking to do something different, this hoop studio, and I am not affiliated with them. I don't get anything to recommend them. I don't get anything for doing these videos. I just do my own videos for things that I am working on. So I definitely don't get anything to say, hey, the nice thing that I like about it, because sometimes there's projects that I'm like, yeah, I am not interested in making that at all. Ouch. Oh, I just burnt myself. Like next month they have a, next month they are doing a rope bowl, and I just did a rope bowl. So with regular Kimberbell. So, I don't feel the need to do another one. So I'm just, the only thing is you have to go on there. And once they're getting ready for like shipment, or once they're getting ready for the new one, you have to go on there, and then you would have, like right now it's too early. And if you forget, you're going to end up getting it. And if you're, I think that this is only offered by, okay, what do you think? Anybody else who is much more skilled, much more skilled, I think that it's really cute. And let's see how it goes in the basket. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I don't even think you really need to cut it. Maybe a little bit. Maybe taking a little bit. Let me see if I bend. I'm not sure I would even... Oh yeah, just bend it a little bit. And then I like the fact that it's the wire, because you can kind of adjust it how you want in the basket. So there you go. One flower down, and again, they give you the materials to make 5 flowers. It's a lot of fun. I was really dreading this part. I don't think it was, I have glue everywhere, but that's okay. It was worth it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. I enjoyed making this project. Very glad that I did this. Again, I do like Hoop Studio for the fact that it does, it's always a different technique. Again, I don't get anything to recommend them. I'm not affiliated. I don't get anything. My channel is very small. I don't get nothing for nothing, except for the pleasure of bringing these wonderful projects to you, and and letting you know the review on it. And again, if you're a new sewer, this might be difficult. Maybe you have a friend who is a more advanced sewer. I did feel like this was a little bit of a challenge, but not horrible. Not horrible. If you have any type of bag making experience, that won't be a challenge to you. But there you go. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I have some sewing projects coming up. And I have a bag of rulers that I started going through, and I'm going to start doing some projects with those. So I'm going to mix it up a little bit, but there's always going to be embroidery on my channel. Again, thank you for stopping by. Please like and subscribe, and please come back soon. Bye.